This is Bryce Van Patten with Metal Express Radio Backstage. Today my guest is the man whose voice just keeps getting stronger with time. He's made his name with Michael Schenker, Survivor, in the supergroup Black Swan, and now he has his second solo album coming out February 17th on Frontiers Music, SRL. The album is titled Alive, and I'm talking about the one and only Robin McAuley. So your new album's titled Alive, and I'm talking with the one and only Robin McAuley. And how's everything going for you?
You know, it's been busy, and I'm loving it. I feel pretty alive. Energized. It's good. It's good. It's really good.
So it's an apt title.
It is a very apt title. Who knew at the time? But you know, I felt something about it, and I kind of worked everything around it. And yeah, it's. I couldn't be happier. The response has been amazing. You know, you do stuff, you put it out, and you go, you know, you throw it up in the air, whatever it lands, but nobody hates it, so I guess that's good.
I don't see how they could. I mean, it's a really strong album.
Thank you.
I mean, you're a really busy guy. Like last year, Black Swan album, Generation Mind.
Yeah.
And now you've got brand new Robin McAuley album. How is it for you juggling all your projects?
It's not it sounds more than it is. You know, we came out with 2 Black Swan records and now 2 solo records. And we kind of just transitioned as we go. And I toured with Michael Schenker in the meantime. I've been to Bolivia for other shows. I've been to Mexico for other shows. I love it. I love being busy. It's you know, as long as there's an opening and I have time, I'm in there. It's just I like it. It keeps the voice good, keeps you current.
Right, absolutely.
And I'm not complaining. It's when the work stops, I'll be going, what?
So, a little off topic, but do you still do the Survivor?
I haven't been with Survivor for, oh my God, maybe 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe 10 years. I transitioned from Survivor almost directly into the Vegas show, Raiding the Rock Vault. And awesome. So I was 7 years and almost 1,500 shows right up to the pandemic with Raiding the Rock Vault.
Wow.
Yeah. So talk about being busy. We worked 5 nights a week, every week. Yeah. Sometimes we worked 6 nights a week, and you know, it took me away from home. I had 2 days off a week, and you come home and you try to play catch up.
Right.
And here we are still. My wife is still with me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, can you talk a little bit about your band on Alive, the lineup?
Yeah, I was kind of insistent if you can be, because everybody works so much. You know, from Standing on the Edge, I absolutely loved what Andrea Cebeso brought with his guitar brilliance to the record. Nicholas Papapico on drums, and Andrea Alessandro Del Vecchio put these guys together because, you know, it was easier for him to do it in Italy, send me the music, yada. But it worked out so awesomely that when we got past Standing on the Edge, I said to Alessandro, I said, you know, if we do another record, I really have to have these guys. And he goes, oh, they're so into it. So I just love the lineup with the band. And I think we're going to get a chance this year because Frontiers have brought back their festivals. And so I'm already slotted for the Frontiers Festival in Milan this year. And I will be using the band, Andrea, Nicholas, and Alessandro, and I can't wait. And I think because we'll be rehearsed, we're looking to do some other shows as well.
Awesome.
Of the festival. Yeah.
Awesome. Can you talk a little bit about your writing process for this record?
Yeah, you know, there's no magic involved. We kind of discussed that we're going to do another record. We wanted to do it a little bit different, a lot more edgy than Standing on the Edge. And so there's different writers involved in this one, together with Alessandro. And then there's the same two writers that I worked on Standing on the Edge out of Sweden, Ulrich Longqvist and Pete Alpenberg, and then Alessandro comes in with his stuff. So they just lambaste me. They send a barrel of songs, and then my job is basically to sift through everything they send, find something that speaks to me cohesively, and I pick my 12. And because Alessandro is producing, I go, these are the 12, and he goes, go for it. And they basically leave it alone, leave it to me. I write all the lyrics, all the melodies, and I don't know what they're thinking because they didn't change anything. I just said, I get to work, and I usually rough demo everything so that it's good for me too. And they kind of signed off, and they said, "When can you start recording?" And I have a studio pretty close to me here, and I go in and I cut the vocals, and then on a bunch of tracks, I bring my son Casey in to do some backing vocals just for a little different color, like he does on the Black Swan stuff, So
Awesome.
I love having him involved. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So that's great. So basically, they build some tracks, and then you sort them out.
Build the music. I insist on really very basic tracks. I don't want any guitar solos. I don't need finished sounds on there. I just want the basic chord structure of the songs. That way, I can really hear if there's something there for me to work on, and we build from there. I usually come back with the melodies and the lyrics, and then the tracks really start to build from there.
Then you guys kind of place length, maybe move a chorus here.
Yeah, we move stuff around, and there's only one or two songs from the original arrangements I got that actually got chopped up a little bit. Don't put that there, put this here, because there was a better flow to the structure of the song. Did I just say that structure, man? And it's a fun process because they're in Italy, I'm not,
right?
And we converse over the mixes, and I like certain things. Alessandro likes certain things, but he brings a nice modern feel to the production for me. And given the fact that he works on so much of the frontier labels, artists, and bands, we always manage, at least we have for these two records now, to make it sound like my record. It doesn't sound like somebody else's record. It's very, very specific sound to me, and I like that, and he knows I like that,
So that kind of you kind of answered some of my questions before I asked it, which is great because my other one was going to be about the recording process and which you're doing remote. They do their bits, you do your bits.
Yeah.
You like the freedom of being able to just sit in your studio and just do your thing without the pressure.
I love having a band around me. I do. I don't consider myself a solo artist. It's just something they want me to do, and I work within those sort of parameters. I miss being around the guys, that sort of stuff. But when it would come to the vocals, I'm very focused. I map out everything throughout my demo process, and I go with that in mind. So I'm able to get into the studio with the engineer and map it out for him. And I only use like outros for like ad lib sections that I don't map out. I just let that free fall. We see how you're going to feel on the night for recording and what you want to put in and what you don't, and how much, or fade it, stop it already. Forget it.
Right.
The song's too long already, and I enjoy that. Process usually. I don't have Bryce. I don't have a book of words. In my top drawer. I don't have old lyrics lying around. It's not. None of the songs are from leftovers from something else.
You're not dusting. You're not dusting.
I'm not. I don't like that because old is old. Old is old. Done. You didn't use it for a reason. I don't want to use it now because I don't have anything else. So it's fresh. It's new. And there's so much information with social media and excuse my French, shit going on around us. that
Yeah.
you're never short for subject matter, you know. And then
Yep.
some songs, of course, or like the artwork itself. I love movies. I love vampire movies. I love old Hollywood Frankenstein movies, which is where the
Oh man.
inspiration for the cover came from, you
Oh
know,
man.
and Alive came because soon as it was one of the early songs that I'd written, and I went, I already knew as I'm writing it, I was mapping out the artwork because I'm blessed from Frontiers. They give me Black Swan. I have a great artist with Stan Decker and
Uh-huh.
Jeff and Reb will go, dude, deal with the artwork. Here's we've all decided on the name and conjure up something. I had already that conjured up. I had rough artwork done because I can play around with Photoshop, and then I'll work with the artists and I'll send it in, and they they run with it, and then we tweak it, and the guys don't want to see it till I'm ready to show it to them. They're going, nah. When you think it's done, show it to me, then I'll make my comments. And for my solo stuff, I have this great artist called Nello DeLomo, and he's as wacky as I am. And I came to him and I said, "Hey, I've decided the title track will be Alive, and that conjures up this power charge for me." And I said, "If you're going to power up the charge, we have to look into Frankenstein." And he's going, huh? I said, so I have this vision of an old Frankenstein laboratory. I have the incubator, which is very, touchy subject these days, right?
Right.
And I said, so we have the incubator, and I want the electrodes inside there, and I want all of this blood coming together, and the earth, and I want all the elements to power charge up the music, power charge me up, and basically give us all a good kick up the ass. It's like we're alive. We have a lot to be grateful of. We've spent the last 3+ years with stuff thrown at us, and we thought this could never happen. It did happen.
Hmm.
And we come out the other end. We're very resilient. And that's really what the title track was about, how resilient you can be, or we can be, in the face of so much pushback and adversity and anger
Yeah.
post pandemic, disrespect post pandemic, shootings, killings. Nobody gives a shit anymore. At least that's how it comes across. And I went, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go, yeah, dude, but we're still alive. And you can throw the kitchen sink at me and we will prevail. And that's kind of in a silly sort of way. I took the idea and I ran with it. And here we have it. And I'm really happy with what we got.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I totally connect with you on that. I My favorite stuff are the old Universal monsters, Boris Karloff, Bela
Right?
Lugosi.
How
Um,
could you not love that stuff? And
it's
how you mingle it with what you're doing is I love doing that stuff. And I love vampires, and
Yeah. Do you like the Hammer movies as well,
oh my
Chris?
God, of course. Of course. I mean, just to digress another little bit, when we wrote the Generation Mind uh, um, record with Black Swan, I was just watching I think it was um, Masters of the Galaxy or something of the universe. And
Mhm.
when I wrote the lyrics and the melody to one of the tracks called Crown, it's completely about demigods and Zeus and all of that. So, where's the crown that I learned so much just reading more into the demigods, and that Zeus himself was somewhat of a womanizer.
Yeah, I think
You
they all
know,
were,
and
especially
he used to make himself look like a horse, and I thought, well, that's pretty appropriate if you're a womanizer. And and I thought, well, there's so much stuff, and I love reading about it. Fast forward to the Alive album. Sometimes it's fictional, sometimes it's based on fact, and there's a track
Mhm.
on there called "My Only Son" that's actually based on a real story from a lady called Santa Keems, uh, whom Mary Tyler Moore played her in a movie called, I think it was called My Mother's Son.
Mhm.
And so she was a woman who was married to a very wealthy real estate guy. She murdered him. They used to mix with people at the White House. she had two sons. One she had an incestuous love affair with, and she sort of drilled him and molded him to be like her. And together they murdered some 5 or 6 people until they were eventually caught. And then they got busted here in California. He's still in jail. It's a true story. And she threw him under the bus and says, it wasn't my idea, it was his idea. She died in jail, and then he pleaded whatever, and instead of getting the chopping block, he got several life sentences. And so I can go down that rabbit hole just as quickly as I can into the fictition or the hammer of the gods are.
Yeah, that's almost more than you could think of in a fictional sense. I mean,
yeah, because I read it, so I can't write about this if it's not factual,
right?
So I read and honestly, Bryce, there's something when I hear the music. There's just something in a chord structure that I listen to everything dozens of times before I put pen. There's a blank sheet of paper, and there's always something in the chord structure will go, did you hear that? That's what you're supposed to write about this. It seems to speak to me and tells me, and the title will come screaming at me, and I'm going, okay, I have to read about this. What is that? And I've just learned something new, and I read, and I go, no, I did not know that about that person. And I go, oh, Mary Tyler Moore. Well, that's interesting. And then tomorrow I start on a brand new song, and I have no idea waking up in the morning what's going to come out by the end of the day, because it's a fresh sheet of paper, and it's fun. I mean, it's so much fun.
That's an exciting way to live,
Yeah, it's so much fun.
So I've been a fan of yours ever since I first saw McAuley Schenker Group on Save Yourself Tour. You guys came to Salem Armory, opened for Great White.
Oh my God.
And I'm pretty sure it was Save Yourself. I don't think it was Perfect Timing, but
yeah,
I have to say, I love your voice, but how is it possible even that when I saw you do Michael Schenker Fest, both the tours you did up in Seattle and in Portland, that your voice is stronger than it was then? I mean, literally, I loved the lineup on the Michael Schenker Fest, and all the guys are great, but when you came out and did, literally to me, you seem stronger than you were back then. How do you do this? How do you explain this magic?
Well, I don't know if it's magic, but thank you anyway. Thank you, first of all. If Graham Bonnet was sitting beside me, Graham would go, oh.
I love Graham.
Oh, dude, I adore the man. He's just awesome. And I mean, to work with him is just a whole different level. So you get a chance to talk, and you get a chance to go, so how do you do it? And how do you do it? And why are you doing it? And why are you still doing it? And Graham will tell you, I shouldn't even be singing because, I used to smoke and I used to do this and do that. But he's still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
By contrast, I've never smoked in my life. I've never been down the rabbit hole of been messed up with drugs or anything like that. I do things my way. Mm-hmm. I'm the guy that I hate smoky atmospheres. I don't want to be on stage or in a club that has smoke in it. If I'm on tour, I never touch alcohol. Wine. Let's get that straight. I love wine, a lot of wine, and I love bourbons, a lot of bourbons. But if I'm working, I touch not a lot of anything. I'm the guy with the humidifiers, the facial steamers. I'm the guy that barely talks to you if I don't have to talk. I hate long sound checks. But when I get up on stage, I am fiercely proud of knowing that I'm going to perform and my voice is in good shape. And I do that because I take good care of it.
Yeah, you're protecting your voice.
I take great care of my instrument, and I don't subject it to this and this and this and this. And my wife will attest to this. I could tell you now that I'm getting a cold, and I will leave this interview and I got a cold, because I can
Feel
I
it in
can
your head.
I can psych myself up to it. But when I know a tour is coming, and I know recording is coming, and I know writing is on the calendar, um, I do everything that I'm responsible for taking care of to make sure that when the green light's on, I'm ready to go. And sometimes there are occasions when I'm not ready to go, and then that really pisses me off. And then it takes me a while to dig myself out of that hole. Um, but for the most part, I feel pretty good. Uh, Absolutely love what I do still. So I have
Mhm.
a huge amount of enjoyment. So there's my inspiration. I just love it. My wife hates it if I say, it's time for me to quit this. She'll go, oh my God, what a pain in the ass you're going to be.
Yeah, how would she deal with you if you
She
didn't
couldn't
have
deal with
this?
it. She's told me, she goes, I can't. I've seen you when you've had downtime, and it's like, is he gone already?
So, a quick question on a show day, do you kind of avoid talking and just
I
save
am,
your voice?
yeah. And if you work with Michael Schenker, I said this to somebody earlier. They said, "How is it?" And I went, "Well, as a singer, you have to be prepared." If he was sitting listening to this, he'd go, "No, that doesn't happen." I went, "Yes, it does." When he sound checks, it's like a show. Sound checks are too long. I can tell you, all of the singers hate the length of the sound checks because it's like, you're not sound checking for me, you're sound checking for you, you know? And he's so particular, he's so awesome, let's not forget that. So awesome.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Huh? Yeah. And yeah, of course I see it. And it's and live, he's just incredible. Similarly, that just doesn't happen by accident. He
Right.
works extremely hard at making that happen.
Yeah,
But
he never stops, does he?
what you see, you're going, what? I think he's better now than he ever was. And he will say to me, and this sounds a little pretentious, he will go, I think you sound better now than you did in the beginning. And I went, well, that's nice coming from you, you know? Uh, um, um, and he says, it's great. He goes, I guess we just love what we do. And I said, I think we love what we do. And we're stubborn. You're German, I'm Irish, and that's a bad mixture for starts. And I'm fiercely, I think there's a lot of dignity that comes into it. I don't want to hear the whispers. By the time that guy quit,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear people saying things about me. And if I do, I'm out of here.
I don't think anyone's going to say that about you.
But you understand where I'm going with it. It's like
I do.
I think it's important. I think we have a responsibility, one, to take care of yourself, look as good as you can, and get out,
Mhm.
do your job. And people who pay good money to see you deserve to see and hear a good show, a great sound, the whole kit and caboodle. Wherever you play, if you're playing on a halfpenny stamp, a penny stamp, or you're playing on an arena, and it's your job to to give what those people expect to hear. And I want to go on doing it for as long as I can. I think it's great. Yeah,
Um,
I'm fortunate. So
Excellent. So, quick question. Can you tell us what's in your future for 2023? And a question, is there more Michael Schenker Fest albums coming?
I don't know about Michael Schenker Fest albums. There may be some more Michael Schenker something that I might be involved in.
Mhm. I know
um,
he's been doing the albums with Ronnie Romero and a few guest
yes,
singers.
when Ronnie did the last one, so it was important for Ronnie to go and see that through.
Do the
Ronnie
tours. Yeah.
Ronnie pulled out of the European tour, which is why I did it. So
Hmm.
Ronnie was now available to do the US, which they just finished. Um, this year, I know there's some festivals planned. I will be definitely doing the Frontiers Festival in Milan, which
Hmm.
they brought back, and I'll be taking the band from Alive with me on that. And our plan is that we rehearse and get that going, and we can probably do some other shows. So that's really looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
also part of a classic rock show. Um, Called Icons of Classic Rock, not associated with the Vegas Rock Vault,
Right.
which we did for 7 years and 1,500 shows, right up to the pandemic. So I was down in Bolivia right before Christmas. We did 2 shows. And then with another classic rock show, I was down in Mexico only 2 weeks ago. So
Oh, wow.
I'm moving around the place. And I was in Bulgaria then earlier on with Johnny Gioeli and Doogie White for shows in Bulgaria earlier, May or April last year. So had a great year. And I want to do lots more of that stuff because it's just, I love to travel, but I love to perform with all of these other amazing, talented people. It's just, I love it. It's just a blast.
Is there anything else that we didn't cover that you'd like to do a shout out or that you'd like to mention?
Well, there is another project completely different. I worked with this wonderful Italian composer, Max Di Carlo, and we have written almost an album's worth of movie soundtrack tracks.
Oh, wow.
And sound bites. And Max, for the most part, works on movie soundtracks. He does a lot of sound bites for HBO and Netflix. And I met him. I was introduced to him about 6 months ago or so, and we got together at his studio. And he introduced me to a bunch of tracks. And he goes, "What can you do with this?" And so I started writing on it. Never worked on this kind of stuff. It's epic, it's bombastic, it's symphonic. And I came back to him with a bunch of stuff that sounds like old Western songs, like songs that you could put in Vikings, songs that you could put in vampire movies.
Great.
And we worked on it, we recorded it. I'm literally sitting beside him, and he's going, "You are fucking great." He goes, "We have to write an opera. That's what we have to do." And he's incredible. I mean, he's on the new Don Johnson movie. Is it called Heat or something? And I think it just came out. He's in that. He wrote that whole soundtrack. And so we plan to showcase with a full orchestra and do something completely different this year. Yeah.
So your opera should be a vampire opera.
It may very well be. I know a few vampires I'd like to bite me.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be. I mean, it would be awesome. I've already designed the clothes and everything. Yeah.
Well, I know you've got probably another interview coming up, so I just really wanted to thank you for taking the time to talk with
Bryce,
me.
it's my pleasure. I appreciate it. Good to see you again.
And we love you at Metal Express Radio. And I just want to tell everybody the new Robin McAuley album, Alive, totally great. Frontiers. Everybody pick it up. Come on, get a copy, whether it's be vinyl, CD, whatever.
Yes. All of the above. 2 singles up on YouTube right now. The title track, Alive, and one last week. The second track, Feel Like Hell, also with videos. Second video is great. Like a mini movie. It's scary. It's really good. February 17th, we will officially release the record with a third single. And Frontiers SRL will give you all the links if you want to order and all of that sort of great stuff. My official website, of course, on Facebook or robinmccauley.com if you want to go on the website.
Perfect.
Instagram, Twitter, all of the above. And, I love you guys, and I can't do this without you. And I appreciate everything you do, truthfully.
Well, I can't wait for more stuff. And I hope you get stateside at some point. I'm over on the West Coast, and I'd love to see you again. So
yes, come and say hello. Nice shirt.
Thank you. Thank you. This is from the Neptune Theater in Seattle.
Oh, what a great venue!
From I think the first Michael Schenker Fest tour.
First fest. Yeah.
From the one with Last Supper.
Yes.
Yes. What a fantastic album.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, have a great day, and thanks again for your time. And
God bless you.
And
we'll talk again soon.
Thanks again, Robin.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.